So, when I fly, right, I like to fly in comfort. Now, I myself do not have the luxury of paying for business class or first class. I like to have, a good amount of space around me. And nowadays, ever since 9/11, right? Like before 9/11, the planes used to have a lot of empty seats. I remember flying to Asia, and on that jet, it was like 5 seats in the middle, and then three at each end. And I took the entire row of 5 seats. I stretched out and I slept. It was wonderful. After 9/11, I don't know what happened. It's like I don't know. It's like every seat is filled. And then after 9/11, I flew to Vietnam in coach. Every seat on the plane was filled. I was like this. In the middle seat, it was the most uncomfortable experience. It was horrible, right? So, anyway, about Southwest, right? I have an ex girlfriend, and at the time when she was my girlfriend, she had a mother come over, right? And that mother, she was like frantically on her laptop, like looking at the watch, looking at the clock, looking at the laptop. I'm like, what are you doing? And she says, oh, I'm waiting for exactly 24 hours before the flight so I can check in and get an earlier boarding number. I was like, well, why is that important? She said, well, because, Southwest, there's no assigned seating. So once you get on the plane, then I can sit wherever I want. If I get in first, I get to choose my seat. Now I'm looking at her and like, I fly Southwest. That's not the good way to go about it, right? Because the seat you want is not necessarily where it is on the plane. It's about the environment around you. So, right? Like, for example, you go and you get there early and you're like group A number 10. You're the 10th person on the plane, right? Then you go there and then you sit down, you're like, I got the seat that I want. This is terrific, right? And now there's like 95% of other people still waiting to get on the plane. And you have no idea who's going to sit next to you, right? So then you're going to sit down and you wait. And the next thing you know, Lou Ferrigno comes and sits next to you. It's like, dude, really? You'll be leaning over like this the entire flight, like, excuse me, sir, can you move your pecs a little? Can you please? Sir, right? And there's nothing he could do because the window person's, is going to be like, no, don't push those pecs near me. I already got some delts in the way, you know what I'm saying, right? So the trick is to get a nice, comfortable, roomy seat is to, like, this is the way I do it, guys, right? You go, like, wait until 80-90% of the people get on the plane, right? And then I'll get on the plane. And then when I get on the plane, I'm looking left and right, right? Now, what I'm looking for is an empty middle seat with two very skinny people sitting at the window and the aisle, right? So that way, I can find a seat and I got space. You know what I mean? Enough space to maybe, put my elbows out a little bit. I could fit in there. You know what I mean? Right? So one time I really lucked out, right? And I got on the plane, towards the end, and I saw right away near the front of the plane, middle seat with two very skinny girls sitting at each end. So I'm like, oh, excuse me, is this seat taken? She goes, no, right? And I said, oh, thank you. And I sat down and I was like comfortable the entire flight. I was like, thank goodness, right? Now, some people, they don't get it, They'll walk in the plane and what they're looking for is an empty aisle seat or an empty window seat. Forget about it, because those are already all taken. They'll just make it all the way to the back of the plane and then they'll be stuck like, oh, crap, I'm in the back of the plane now. They turn around and they see a whole line of people behind them. They can't go back to the front, and then they end up sitting in the middle seat, and they got no room, So there you go, guys. A little bit of advice. It is gold. All right. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.